is SportsCenter.
Gentlemen, squallers, Romans, welcome to the Week 7 Fantasy Football recap of the Degenerates fucking Fantasy Football League. Alrighty, the first matchup we got is Thomas's Team 14 versus Hayden and the Cowpokes. You know, this one turned out to be quite the fucking blowout as the Cowpokes ran through Team 14's ass like shit through a tin horn. Team 14's downfall would be Chicago's Justin Fields posting the first 5+ fucking turnover game out of a quarterback since 2019. The first also turnover, 5 interceptions and 2 fumble losses game out of a quarterback since 2016. 3 passing interceptions, 2 fumbles would post a loss in Chicago's ass stomping from Tampa Bay. That would end up 38-3. The big winner for the Pokes would be the legend Joe Burrow. He tossed for 416 yards, 3 passing TDs, including an 82-yard passing catch to Jamar Chase for 82 fucking yards. The Cowpokes would end up like 90-something to fucking 51 against Team 14. Love to see that, as now the Pokes move to 5-2 and Team 14 now drops to 2-5. Next one we've got is Ian's "What the fuck were you thinking?" as he completely brought his team name to life this week. He faced Marcus and Big Red. Ian would choose to start 3 players with bye weeks this week. He would post a league season low of 23 fucking points. Yeah. Marquez didn't have to do much this week as he secured the dub. First win for him since week 2. He's had 3 losses and a tie since then. But he did have a big week out of the Patriots defense, who had 2 interceptions, 2 sacks in their Sunday win over the New York Jets that wound up 54 to fucking 13. Yeah, good win for Marquez. He went up 75-23 versus what the fuck. He's gonna move to 3-1, and Ian's gonna move on to 3-4. Third matchup we've got is gonna be Martin and the Glizzy Goblins versus Jordan the Cool Arrows. Jesus fucking Christ. The bye week really is gonna take its toll this week in most of these matchups, and the Cool Arrows started 4 players that had bye weeks this week. They would post a 24 piece, which is only 1 point better than Ian's "What the fuck were you thinking?" Didn't take much from the Goblins to secure this win. Both James Conner and Arizona's Cordell Patterson would post 12 points for Martin. James Conner would have an impressive 18-yard rushing TD over Houston in Arizona's 31-5 win. Jordan the Cool Arrows are now going to drop to 1-5-1. The Glizzy Goblins going up 4-3. That's really that matchup didn't have nothing to say for itself. But we're going to go ahead and roll on to the next one. Drew and the Wicked Wieners, who were 3-3 going in this matchup, versus Isaiah's Salad Asses. Despite all the buys this week, this one actually turned out to be a pretty tight one. This is kind of more of our normal matchup we're used to seeing. Drew's start of Mac Jones in New England's game Sunday. He threw for 307 passing yards and 2 passing TDs. That was not enough to top the top performers out of Matt Stafford and Cooper Kupp on Sunday, who matched up against the Detroit Lions. Matt Stafford would throw for 334 yards and 3 TDs, 2 of which would also go to Cooper Kupp, who both belong to fucking the Salad Asses. He caught for 156 yards out of those 334 yards. That score ended up being 97-79 in favor of the Salad Asses. They're going to go up to 5-2, and the Wicked Wieners now fall to 3-4. Next one we've got is...
This goes out to all our fallen homies, yo. Come on.
Hey, yo, real talk.
All right?
Next one we've got is Hunter Harrell's Moose Knuckle Mountaineers and Little James is hanging with Aaron. Hunter earlier this week admitted that he had paid no attention to his starting lineup going into this week. It didn't really matter as Little James really just smoked his ass. He had Mike Evans, who caught for 3 touchdown passes, and including Tom Brady's 600 TD pass. Evans would unknowingly give that ball to a fan. The fan would be compensated with $60,000 worth of memorabilia, which included 2 signed jerseys, 1 signed helmet, and 2 seasons worth of season tickets. Yeah, he gave that ball back without a doubt. Other than that, that was the most exciting thing, as Little James beats the shit out of Hunter, 101-34. Little James is going to now move to 5-2, and Hunter is going to now drop to 4-3. Next one we've got on the lineup is going to be Matt with a house with a cock in his balls versus Cody's stroke racing the camel toes. Tom Brady's 211 passing yards and 4 passing TDs would not post enough numbers for Matt. I mean, really, Matt just kind of whiffed this week. He didn't really have a lot going for him other than Tom Brady's performance. The Camel Toes would, though, have 5 starters that post double digits in fantasy points, including Washington's Taylor Heineke, who threw for 268 yards and a 40-yard passing touchdown in the Redskins' 10-24 loss to Green Bay Packers on Sunday. But that was not going to stop, Stroker Ace from just whipping the shit out of Matt. 92-67, that one goes. Matt drops now to 2-5. Stroker Ace goes up to 5-2. Really good one there. The next one we've got is Randy Annapolis versus Gavin's John Johnson. The Buccaneers defense would post a huge 22 number for Randy Annapolis this week with 3 picks and 4 sacks that held Chicago to 3 points this Sunday. But the Johnsons would have 5 starters post double digits, including a big week out of Philadelphia's Jalen Hurts, who threw for 236 yards and 2 passing TDs, and rushed for another one. And the Eagles lost to Las Vegas Sunday night in the primetime matchup that ended up 33-22 in favor of the Raiders. Gavin now is going to go to 5-2. And Randy Duff is going to drop to 2-5 in that 106-57 score. Next one we got is Lance's Mr. Bitches versus Eli and Willy Wonka and the Sex Factory. I wrote until very late into Monday night to write this one because Mr. Bitches really hoped big things out of DK Metcalf. But going into this week, he would have a pretty damn big week out of Aaron Rodgers, who threw for 274 yards, 3 passing touchdowns in Sunday's matchup over Washington. That posted 29 fantasy points. But it did boil down to Monday night as Seattle and New Orleans would take the gridiron and ultimately decide this one for this matchup. DK Metcalf could not pull it out for Mr. Bitches. He scored 15 fantasy points, but that was not enough. Damian Harris of New England would be the big winner for Eli, as he rushed for 106 yards and 2 touchdowns. That would be big. Very big, enough for Eli to go up 89-81 versus Mr. Bitches in this kind of tight one. Mr. Bitches now falls 3-4, and Eli is going to drop to now rise to now 4-3. Good for both those fellas. They both kind of suck this year. Second to last one we've got is Coulson and Spider White Tube Banana versus Ryder and the Washington Foreskins. Foreskins kind of putting up a disappointing season so far this year. Don't have a whole lot to look forward to, but Ryder fucked around and started 3 players this week that did not play. So that's kind of on him. That also included an injury out of Baker Mayfield, who did nothing for him, who is his starting quarterback. Coulson actually played his lineup pretty damn right this week, and he had a big week out of San Francisco's running back Elijah Mitchell, who would post 107 rushing yards and a 14-yard touchdown run, I believe it was a run, in San Francisco's loss to Indianapolis 30-18. The Spiders will take that one 86-38. Coulson's now going to go up to 4-3, and Ryder's now going to drop to 1-6. He's looking to be one of the bottom feeders of the league this season unless he turns it around. Last one we've got is Big James and the tight ends versus Boone Duggan's powerhouse Suck Less. Pat Mahomes would be the big underperformer this week for the tight ends, as his 206 passing yards would not be enough to overcome his 1 interception and 1 fumble for loss for the devastating 3-27 loss to the Tennessee Titans this week. Boone did not have a starting quarterback this week at all, as Justin Herbert and the Chargers would have a bye. Nonetheless, since he's Jamar Chase would bail him out of this motherfucker. Suckless would get 201 receiving yards out of him and 1 receiving touchdown in the fucking win against Baltimore. Baltimore with a B. But the tight ends are now going to drop 2 and 5, and Boomless is going to move up to 6 and 1. So that is all I've got for this week's recap. I hope you guys are enjoying it. Stay tuned for next week. Actually, not next week. I'm going to be gone. So tune in for week 8. I'll see you then.